Used to play a lot of it in the arcades, did some tournament play, and just decided, you know, I love Street Fighter, I love the Nintendo, let's marry these things together.
Right on.
Yeah.
Have you put any other games onto, like, different systems? Like, can you put a Super NES game on a Sega game?
It's not something you can necessarily do. They're different languages altogether.
Yeah.
So think of it kind of like Mac versus PC at that point.
Right on.
Yeah, they don't talk to each other so well.
I didn't know.
Oh, that's all right. That's all right. Happy to answer the questions.
And you did a newer arcade game, like something that was just new. Recently, you put that on a cartridge as well?
Let's see. I don't know if I've got that on me. There's some games that have been released. They're what's called a homebrew. So a lot of the translations that we've talked about so far take existing games and we're switching out the language, basically.
Right.
So we're making it into English. There's also what's called homebrew, which is when an enthusiast sits at home and they make a game from scratch. So they're not taking something that exists and translating it. They're literally making a brand new game on old hardware. I've been in contact with some folks online that have been doing that, and that's actually my goal as well, is to ultimately get to the point where I can create from scratch instead of translating. But yeah, I'm working with some guys online. There's some folks that made a game called Jet Paco, which is a brand new NES game that was just released in January of 2015. So it's just a few months old at this point. And yeah, we put it on a cartridge. I forgot to bring it in the stack, but
no worries.
It's a lot of fun. Brand new game on a Nintendo. When's the last time somebody played one of those?
I don't know.
Exactly.
I don't know.
It's like being back in 1980s.
So where are you showing these? Are you going like to local video game stores and talking to owners of game stores?
That's the goal right now. As you've probably heard in my wife's blog here, we're pretty new to Portland. We've only been here since November. And so I'm still kind of learning the lay of the land and making some friends with game store owners. Back in Arizona, I had some friends that ran a store called the Gaming Zone, and we would do tournaments there, and they'd show off a lot of my stuff. And I'm trying to make friends with some game store owners out here, so anybody out there in the internet land, if you run a game store and like what you see, let's talk.
Right on.
But yeah, you know, I'm doing that. We're doing the website, like I said, on my wife's page, and just trying to get the word out and trying to get these in the hands of people that are as enthusiastic about them as I am.
And then you're doing shows as well.
Yeah, definitely. Got the pleasure of going up to Cowlitz County in Washington, and we got to hang out there for the Cowlitz for Kids Expo. So it was kind of cool to take a charitable organization and combine it with people that love video games. So all of the ticket sales went to this charity event to try to help kids, and yeah, I got to talk to a lot of people there, made some trades with some repros, and it was great.
Sweet.
Yeah, definitely.
Is like doing conventions something that you're looking into doing in the future as well?
Definitely, yeah. If I can, get the resources together and talk to the right people, I would like to set up a booth and have a table to meet everybody that wants to talk about them, make some sales, talk the game.
Right on.
That would be fantastic.
I don't really have anything else to ask. Do you have any last questions, comments, concerns? Do you want to show off a couple more games?
Sure. Yeah. So as you probably noticed from the label signature that I have on the back, I'm a huge fan of Power Rangers. I don't know if you can see the wall of fame back here, but yeah, the Power Rangers kind of hit the American shores in the 90s. So a little bit after the Nintendo was already kind of dead and gone. What's great is that Power Rangers existed as the Super Sentai in Japan since 1970 something. So that means that
Crazy.
they were...
I didn't know that either.
Yeah, they're pretty old school. And the Nintendo in Japan, the Famicom, was lucky enough to get some Power Rangers games that we never got here just because of the timing. Well, I was able to get a translation done on that. So we've got a Power Rangers game on the NES. For me, that was super exciting.
And it was on the Famicom?
It was on the Famicom, and that's how
I
a lot
don't
of
even
these
know
are.
what that is.
It's a Japanese version of the Nintendo.
Okay.
So yeah, the cartridges on the inside are pretty similar, but on the outside they're way shorter, and they're different amount of pins. But the EPROMs, the brain of the game, the most important part, is the same piece. So you can switch them back and forth as long as you're comfortable enough taking these apart.
Right on.
So yeah, Power Rangers was real exciting for me. Another one that I was pretty excited about. For those of you that had Super Nintendos and got to play what was called the Lost Levels, which was the real Super Mario Bros. 2, they deemed it too difficult for American shores back in the days of the Nintendo. So we never got to play that until the
That's
Super Nintendo
why
version.
all the Asian guys are way better at playing video games than American guys. Because
That's
they're
what it
like,
is.
oh, it's too hard for those.
Exactly,
whites."
yeah. We're not going to make them feel bad. So, you know, I'm up for a challenge anytime that I can see it in a video game. I've played some really difficult games, and I said, you know what? That Super Mario Bros. 2 is something I want to play. So that's another one that I did.
Have you beat this?
No, God, no. Not even close. It is really hard.
Are there, like, I know in 1 and 3, there are, like, ways to cut through the game and go to, like, the last boss, and...
There's some of that in this game as well, but this game, they're very mean to you.
Yeah.
So we're used to Super Mario where you grab a mushroom and it powers you up, you can take an extra hit, it's a good thing. This game actually introduced a poison mushroom. So you'd hit a question block and a mushroom would pop out and you'd think, oh great, I got a power up. No, it kills you.
What?
So you got to look out for the poison mushrooms as well.
Is it, like, colored differently?
It is, but I'm a little bit colorblind, and if you play out on an old crappy TV, good luck.
Oh, man. Princess Edition Super Mario Brothers?
So this is one where instead of translating text, the graphics were swapped out. So this one is a version of Super Mario Brothers where instead of playing as Mario and Luigi, you play as Princess Peach and Princess Daisy, and you're rescuing Mario and Luigi.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's a cool role reversal and very atypical for video games of the era. So kind of cool to be able to play as the heroines instead.
Right on.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool.
What about... I don't know. There's just so many Zero Wing. Like,
Zero Wing is infamous. I don't know if you remember a few years back, but there was an old internet meme, probably before they even were called memes. Do you remember the saying, all your base are belong to us? That's Zero Wing.
No way!
That is the game that started that whole craze. All the
was
cheesy music, the bad translation, it's all there.
I was in high school when my teacher for English and journalism was like, Jacob, you gotta see this.
Oh,
so,
absolutely.
Like, all your base are belong to us has been... I didn't know it was Zero Wing.
Yeah, that's
really
absolutely
funny.
where it's from. And that's a game where... most of these that we've been discussing have been released in Japan and not America. Zero Wing was actually released in England. So you could get a UK version, and that's why it was in English, all your base are belong to us. But yeah, that never came to US shores, and it actually, if you get the UK version, it doesn't play on an American Genesis. So you actually have to go in and tweak the code to make it think it's a US version of the game. So yeah.
Right on. Well, do you have any last comments, questions, concerns?
No, I would say other than that, again, if you want to check any of this out, check out the website, studiomonoandme.com.
Is there an ampersand? Is that what the and sign is called?
Oh, no, you got to spell it out.
So, mono, M-O-N-O-A-N-D, me.
Correct.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's because I'm Jonny Mono, my wife is Mary Elizabeth, so M-E, so monoandme.com. Go ahead and take a look on the left-hand side, and you'll see Jonny Mono's repros. And you can see pictures of everything I've done, status updates, all kinds of fun stuff.
Right on.
All right.
I guess I did want to say, 4th Effin' Friday is coming up on the 24th of this month. And you're welcome to come, you're welcome to come this month if you want to come hang out.
I haven't missed one yet, for the record.
That means a ton to me. I can't tell you that, like, how much that means to me. But you are invited to come bring stuff, show them off next month. It'll be the 22nd of May.
Excellent.
April, May.
Yeah, I will absolutely come and show off my wares, and I'll donate one to the cause for the raffle as well. So if you want to score a piece of Jonny Mono on the cheap, get yourself a raffle ticket. We'll have something fun in there.
That is something that I wanted to ask. How much do you sell Repro for?
It kind of depends on what system, because they all have a varying degree of difficulty. Sega Genesis is the easiest to do. It's one chip inside. Sega just did a really good job of making it easy. Super Nintendo's a little bit more difficult. Still one chip, but it's real intricate, a little harder to solder. Nintendo actually takes two of them. So it's a smaller chip split into two pieces. It's a little bit more work, and that's why they're bigger, because there's more to it. And then I base the prices on how hard the donors are to get. So remember, they have to be pin compatible with what we're doing. So some of the games can be about $30. That's kind of the average rate. Games that take a little bit more, like your RPG games where you have to have a game save, those need batteries and extra RAM and special things inside. Those usually go for about $40, just because there's a little bit more work to it.
Right on.
But still well under the price of a brand new game, and it's as good or better, in my opinion, as some of the stuff that's on the shelf today.
Yeah. You were saying that you just got not Dragon Quest. What was it? Dragon Warrior?
Dragon Warrior.
You just ordered that.
Yeah, I ordered Dragon Warrior 4 for the Nintendo, and that's one of the code of honor pieces, is that I don't make games that were released in the US.
Okay.
So games that were actually available that you could buy retail, I buy them retail just like anybody else. I won't make copies of games that were released. That would be piracy. So unless I'm altering 20% of the code, then...
I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, it's kind of a, like I said, a code of honor kind of deal.
Right on.
So.
Very cool. Well, everybody, thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, thanks
Jacob
for watching.
Wolf, Jonny Mono, check out his stuff, and I'll see you tomorrow.